Hello friends, Chrissy here at A Little Glam, A Lot of Mom. Thanks for being here today. So I'm finally delivering a high school content video. Brief preface here. I have two high schoolers, 15 and 16 years old, both in the same skill level or grade, rising 11th grade for reference purposes. One important thing to note is that to be in compliance with state law in the current state we reside in, we must submit a portfolio evaluation to show progress yearly on the anniversary date of submitting our intent to homeschool. Now, we're a military family, and so the notice of intent and consequently the yearly evaluations align with the time we are to report to our new duty station. And that's not always concurrent with the traditional school timelines of August or fall through the summer. Just another reason why homeschooling year-round makes sense for us, and I thought it was important that you know this in order for some things in this video to make sense. Alright, so let's move on to our system here. One teen likes to work on the dining table. The other prefers a desk in the bedroom. So after trying various organization methods, we found this cart system works the best to keep each of them organized and on task. Also, it's important to encourage independent responsibility and learning habits that they need to learn now and carry with them into their soon-to-be young adult lives. I bought these carts several years ago at Walmart, and now going back to try to find the link for you all, I believe they're the ECR for Kids metal rolling cart. So we'll start with my daughter's cart. The top tier holds curriculum. I use magazine holders and bamboo lid organizers that are meant for the kitchen to support books and binders. They keep watercolor paper in here because it's needed for the art integrated in their language arts curriculum. I've pulled together different resources for a credit in health, personal fitness, and physical fitness. They've enjoyed the instant help books for teens, and I find these on Amazon. She completed the intuitive eating workbook, and the next one we chose is the executive functioning workbook to learn about planning, time management, and staying on task to reach her goals. This one is a lot thinner than the last workbook, but they're pretty simple to follow, and I like that they can complete the writing portions or exercises within the book. I pair the workbook with a related reader. I'm waiting on one I found called Redeeming Your Time to go along with the topic of time management, but she's also requested Guns, Germs, and Steel, The Fates of Human Societies, so she started this reader while we wait for the other one to arrive. History. So we're taking a different approach to history. You'll see in my son's cart, he's just finishing up World History Part 2 by Knotgrass, and we decided not to continue with Knotgrass history. It was just too textbook and dry for us. So we went with Early American History by Beautiful Feet Books. This is the teacher's guide. And now it does say 7th to 9th grade, but don't let those grade guidelines box you in. We went out of the traditional order of history by starting with world history and not with American. And the reason for that is because I knew that by this year, 2022, two of my elementary kids would be mature enough to dive into a much gentler approach, of course, of American history. The younger kids and I are doing the elementary guide to early American history this year by Beautiful Feet as well. So I just wanted all of us to be immersed in this part of history together, exploring rabbit trails and field trips, and just, again, living these experiences together with some modifications for their gaps in ages, of course. This is far from textbook style and written for the teacher. There are rabbit trail suggestions to further explore each lesson, character connection prompts, handcraft ideas, further resources and readers to explore, and research topics. Apologias Exploring Creation with Chemistry. We've been holding on to this one for a while because they chose to complete biology and earth space science first. This is written for the students, so it's meant to be self-taught. Each of them also has the student notebook. Now, it's not necessary to have this notebook, but it does help cut back time since they can write in this notebook and there's no need to transfer over the questions. I also have the tests and the solutions and tests as well. The only thing I didn't purchase are the lab kits because I thought that I could put them together by purchasing the items individually. It turns out that is not the most efficient and most cost-effective way to do so, so I recommend purchasing the lab kit. I also picked up everything you need to know to ace chemistry in one big fat notebook for high school. I follow the mastery method for grading, which means I don't require completion of a textbook or curriculum. For example, the Apologia chemistry textbook. I require 120 hours of studying the material or topic, or equaling out to about 80% of completing the resource for mastery. So along with this notebook and putting chemistry to practice in the kitchen through cooking and baking and resourcing to some cookbooks as well, it's just a great way to supplement and bring chemistry to life. She also has a binder for language arts. We purchased the Good and the Beautiful's high school language art levels in the PDF form so that I can print it off for both students, and we save money that way. They print the units as they go and they just store it in their binder. We also printed off the grammar guide, which they need to reference to in all 4 levels of language arts. You'll see that in my son's cart. And they also share the geography and poetry memorization cards. If you didn't know, the Good and the Beautiful's language arts is also woven in with art and geography. So each year, upon completion of the language arts course, given that they do the geography and art portion, of course, they earn a quarter credit for each year. So upon completion of the 4 years, they have 4 credits of language arts, 1 credit in art, and 1 credit in geography. Foreign language, they each have a red colored coded folder for Spanish. They're moving on to Spanish 3. This is an online self-paced class through something called Florida Virtual School. It's a free resource for students and homeschoolers registered with the county in the state of Florida. My daughter is also reading through the Arts, a Visual Encyclopedia by DK, and pairing it with the Artist Portfolios by Simply Charlotte Mason. Now, you might have seen in my morning basket videos last year that we attempted to do this together. We tried to push through, but there's just not enough interest and attention for us to complete it as a family. I might come back to it with my youngest in a few years. However, my teen daughter, who is an artist, wanted to continue, so she offered to do it independently. She'll be due for another artist soon, and she'll continue also supplementing with sculpting classes for what will eventually add up to enough hours for a credit in fine arts. Before I move on, these magnets aren't just for aesthetics. They're bookmarks that are supposed to be book covers. She has a few more that are in use right now. These specifically are from World Market. Magnet bookmarks are the best. Okay, moving on to the second tier. This big envelope holds important paperwork like transcripts and volunteer forms. I can't show too much because of security reasons, but I will put together a video to share more about this process. The specifics of transcripts and record keeping will have to be in a future video because it's just too much information for today. Keeps her journals here, and Ailani is out of town spending some time with great-grandparents for summer. So missing here is her nature journal that she took with her. It's a moleskin journal. I highly recommend it if you have a child that is serious about art. She has these 2 bullet inserts types of journals. One is for Bible journaling and the other is her planner. I want to gift her a nice quality traveler's journal cover for these maybe coming up for her birthday. Each teen also has a daily task list with a week at a glance. I fill this out every Sunday evening or Monday morning, and it helps keep them on task. Again, Ailani's biggest passion is art, and so she invests in her own quality art supplies. It looks like she took all her Prisma colored pencils with her. This is her favorite watercolor palette by Winsor and Newton. There are various clips and washi tape and stickers that she uses throughout the day. She loves her drawing inks. She's used these quite a bit and still hasn't made a dent in them. Totally worth the price. This roll here is filled with markers, and she also has a sweet little mug with everything you can think of in it: scissors, knitting needles, calligraphy pens and attachments, lead pencils, ruler. She normally keeps a to-go pencil case that's for a marine research group we go to once a week. I guess she took that with her as well. She also likes to have her own watercolor brushes, although I must tell you that you should not store them facing bristles down. Store them facing bristles up. Someone might want to know about this adorable chicken garland. It's also from World Market, and that's just for aesthetics, although it does have a little bell at the bottom of it, and every day when she pulls her cart through the house to the dining table, it rings and dings, and it's just the sweetest thing ever. Anyway, for math and, as I mentioned, Spanish, they utilize a screen. Ailani owns an iPad Pro, and this is where it lives along with her pen, earbuds, and charger. She took it with her, so it's not here for you to see today. Again, here is some study material, index cards, and those geography cards. I already talked about this reader, and she took her current literature book with her. This here also holds all of her morning resources. So this is her Bible. It's a journaling Bible, although she chooses not to journal in it. The new answers book, here we have book 1 and 2. The three of us, so my teen daughter, my teen son, and myself, will be diving into these apologetics books this year for Bible. I found used copies for all of us to use. This is a coloring book for her independent devotional and Bible time. It was given to her by one of her great aunts, so there's a sweet note in there as well. I'd also purchased this calligraphy book a while ago, and it just sat waiting for her to have some interest in it. She's finally picked it up along with a book on drawing. It's Drawing Calming Prompts, and I found both of these resources at Five Below. Alright, so let's move on to my son's card. Tier 1 is very similar to my teen daughter's. It holds curriculum. Darian also has watercolor paper for language arts, a spiral notebook for notes, Knotgrass World History Student Review, and the quiz and exams book. Darian's new health workbook this year is also by an instant help book for teens. This one is the Growth Mindset Workbook for teens saying yes to challenges, dealing with difficult emotions, bounce back from setbacks, building self-compassion and resiliency. The reader we've paired is along the same topic as last year on being a student athlete. This is The Boys in the Boat, the story of 9 American boys and the Berlin Olympics. And the same as my teen daughter, various binders here, one for language arts, one for history. This is a prep book for the PERT test for dual enrollment and scholarship applications that are coming up very soon. Both of my teens will be sharing this resource, College Essay Essentials, a step-by-step guide to writing a successful college admissions essay. I read through the introductions and skimmed the rest, and I think that there are some good pointers in here. So chapter 1 is on brainstorming, chapter 2 is on structure, chapter 3 are the 4 types of college essays, chapter 4 a step-by-step guide to writing each of the 4 college essay types, chapter 5 how to revise your essay in 5 steps, how to bring your essay to life, advanced techniques. In chapter 8 we read on how to make sure your essay is doing its job, a few of this person's favorite essays, and chapter 10 finally. There are also some cited additional resources like 1000 Ways to Get Inspired Right Now, How to Work with a Partner, Accountability Agreement, 21 Details Exercise, Everything I Want Colleges to Know About Me list, and a Timeline of My Life exercise. A little bit of what the back reads here. It says, packed with tips, tricks, exercises, and sample essays from real students who got into their dream schools, College Essay Essentials is the only college essay guide to make this complicated process logical, simple, and dare we say it, a little bit fun. He has Exploring Creation with Chemistry by Apologia, and that is his student notebook. Red colored coded folder for Spanish. And this is the grammar and writing guide by The Good and the Beautiful that I mentioned that they need to reference to through all 4 years of language arts. So it's just a guide again on grammar and punctuation usage, common misspelled words, writing structures, and so on. And they share this resource. It was a lot to print, but we only had to print it once. And again, they use it for all 4 years. On tier 2, he also has his own file folder for transcripts and forms. Now let's start with his week at a glance. For him, we went with a dry erase board. And if you notice here, I want to talk a little bit about their schedule. My teens are on a loop schedule with a minimum of 3 courses each day. If you're not familiar with what a loop schedule is, I will link a video down below. I believe it's done by Angela Braniff. I think she did a good job at explaining what a loop schedule is, and so if you want an explanation, take a look in the description box for that. His mug is Minecraft, a lot less art supplies than my teen daughter, and I love how through these cards you guys can see like their characteristics and personalities. Unlike my daughter, who has a bookshelf in her room, my son's room doesn't have the space for that because he has a desk and his desktop computer for math and Spanish. So he keeps his most recent readers in his cart. He's currently reading Black Brother by Jewel Parker Rhodes. To Kill a Mockingbird is coming up next. Boys in the Boat, his health reader, which I already spoke about. Men of Iron for the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts. He loves historical fiction like me, and I just finished this read, An Elephant in the Garden. I know he's going to enjoy it. I left some annotations and put it in there for him to pick up when he's ready, and that's just one way that we connect. He has our dictionary in here. Again, the answers, this is part 1. I still have time to search for another reasonably priced used copy for part 2, and my Bible. Now he has his own, but I am letting him borrow my bilingual Bible because, fun fact, I was never formally taught to read and write Spanish. I learned on my own by picking up a Spanish Holy Bible, so I thought it might be a good way for him to practice Spanish as well. And the last tier, it doesn't hold much. He's a simple guy. Again, he doesn't have a portable screen. He chose to build a desktop last year, and that lives on a desk in his room. He does have his pencil case here for on the go. Not much in here, but a calculator. He does have an extra pair of headphones in here in case his wireless earbuds are not charged. That has happened a lot. He has some study material for grammar in here, remote for LED lights in his room, and as you can tell, he enjoys Rubik's Cubes during breaks throughout the day. It's a great fidget toy and brain teaser. Alright, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope that you were able to get some inspiration today for some organization and maybe to try out this cart method as well. I know a lot of families utilize the carts, so let me know if you do down below as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did enjoy this video. Stay tuned for a lot more high school content coming up, and thanks so much for your love.